Welcome to GSI Quarterly CEO Briefing. My name is Wendy. In our first edition, we intend to get insights from our CEO, Nolasco, as he tells us more about GSI's 5-year transformation program, dubbed Vision 2027. And here he is, joining us today. Thanks for joining us, Nolasco.
No, thanks for having me.
As I understand, Vision 2027 started last year to uplift the company's capabilities. Can you tell us more about it?
Sure, thanks, Wendy. Vision 2027 is a 5-year, if we could call it an ambitious program that, just like what you said, started in 2022. It has 4 pillars, first of which is Amplify shareholder value. Second is Maximise offshore potential. Third is nurture staff engagement, and the last is Cultivate centers of excellence.
That's cool. Now, can you tell us more about the first pillar, which is Amplify shareholder value?
As you'd know, we started operating in the Philippines last 2017 as a small unit in one of the BPOs here in Manila. But over time, we outgrew the team over there, and we decided to incorporate a GSI in 2020. And then we realized that, once we have moved out and we're capable of doing it on our own, there was a mature realization that we could actually grow beyond the current scope. Now, we want to demonstrate that apart from being a shared services unit, we are able to provide services to stakeholders outside or clients outside of Guild Group, and that's what we're going to try and demonstrate in the short to medium term.
Well, that's a good news, and I believe that growing and getting bigger is really something that we want to achieve as a company. Now, how about the second pillar, which is Maximise offshore potential?
Sure. There are certain capabilities that we have developed over time, and it started from way back again in 2017 when Guild Group's biggest subsidiary, Guild Insurance Limited, offshored some of its functions over to Manila. The first capability that we have formed would be underwriting support. And I think it's already an established capability. Miko, Lali are really doing great, providing claims and underwriting support to our counterparts in Melbourne, Sydney. SD is doing great. He started from a startup, but now he's providing support for relationship and customer care. He's doing great there as well. And we have our newly formed team providing support for claims lodgement, which again are really very productive, and I'm hearing great things about them. But apart from underwriting support, there are some aspects of offshore operations that we're still developing. And that's what we intend to invest on in the short to medium term. But by the end of FY 2027, we hope to realize the full capabilities, all of the capabilities that we actually can tap from in Manila, so that there will be increased mobility for our staff, for them not to be confined in just in just one capability. There are more others that they could tap on and learn from, and at the same time they'd realize that maybe this new role or possibility is now an opportunity.
Yes, well, opportunities are really good for everyone to grow. All right, how about the third pillar, which is nurture staff engagement?
Which I think is one of the most important, if not the most important, of the 4 pillars. At the core of our business operations would be the staff. And this is a cliche. All leaders say this, but I think in GSI we take it very seriously. More than half of our time is invested on making sure that the environment that we built here, the culture, the remuneration, and things like that, are actually something that our staff can benefit from. And they'd be happy to stay here. They feel welcome, and apart from that, when they go home to their families, they have enough to keep things going at home. So I think it is very important for me and all of the leadership in GSI to understand what makes them wake up in the morning, what makes them go to work. And I think at the center of that is before we before we expand our horizons into looking at providing services to clients outside of Guild Group, is making sure that they have the remuneration that they deserve. So we're going to start from that. From way back 2020, from last year, from 2022, we started reviewing the incentive program, and it keeps on improving. It's a 3-year progression. So whatever they were getting at outperformed, they're now getting that in meets expectations. Therefore, there's no economic impact on their end. In fact, if they perform higher than and exceed expectations, they're going to earn more as compared to 3 years ago. That's the initial target. Also, the newly appointed head of shared services, Ray Kabe, is constantly reviewing our remuneration by way of partnering with benchmarking companies in the Philippines. And our intent is to keep on reviewing and making sure that our remuneration and benefits program is consistent and consistently higher than whatever market is providing. We're also investing on our culture. Company events are still there. Culture is a big part of our operations here in GSI. We, again, just like what I mentioned earlier, we want to make sure that everybody feels welcome. And I think that's still the case because so far our engagement is hovering around 85-89%, which I think is a good testament to our leadership here in Manila, keeping everybody engaged. I think it just says a lot about Ray and the team over here.
Wow, that's really nice to hear that, aside from nurturing, thinking about the welfare of the employee is the most important, that they feel that you understand them, understand their needs. All right, and let's talk about the last pillar, which is Cultivate Centers of Excellence.
We now have 4 capabilities in Manila, 2 of which we have already realized, and the other 2 we're still, let's call them developing. The first of which is underwriting support, which we've touched earlier. That has fully matured already, and by this time is fully operational. Again, Miko, Lali, ST, the rest of the team in underwriting support in claims operations really doing a great job in providing support to our onshore counterparts. So I would like to believe that capability is already established. This thing that we're having right now is a testament to our second capability, which is in digital and social media engagement. Sam has been producing really great content for both GSI and the group for quite some time now. So I think that's a good demonstration of what's possible here in Manila, at least for the digital space. The third capability, which we haven't realized yet, but is kind of developing, is digital enablement. This is a developing capability, just like what I mentioned, and we intend to invest on this through to 2027 because I think this is a growth opportunity for us. As the younger generations get used to interacting with companies via chat or via other means, we need to ride these waves, and our staff here in Manila need to ride these changes with AI and things like that. So we intend to invest on these technologies for GSI to remain relevant in the changing times. The last is business analysis, which we started last year. So we formed a group of really great BAs here in Manila, which has been providing basic business analysis support to our onshore counterparts, and also are now being a big contributor to the overall business strategy for the group. So these 4 capabilities we intend to invest, just like what I mentioned, through to 2027. And then by that time, we have fully realized all these 4 pillars working together. GSI will be a formidable company by then, realizing its full potential, and at the same time have retained most of our staff because, again, they are at the core of the success of the company.
Wow, that's amazing. An amazing journey for Guild Solutions, Inc. And I'm really excited to see our company grow. And I really appreciate your time, Jill, for giving us this grace to explain those pillars And we would love to hear more about it in our next quarter. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Our CEO, Nolasco. And see you next time. Bye.